Okay, so it's day 69 of the Bitcoin daily dollar cost average. And I'll get right into it. Do the conversion of $333 from DAI, the stable coin, over to Bitcoin. Okay, so there you have it. We'll go look at it. So here you go. So now I have 0.46 of a Bitcoin. So I'm getting close to half a Bitcoin. But again, you're probably hearing a lot of this stuff in the media right now. Look, Chartmaster says Bitcoin breakdown is just getting started. So, more negative things about Bitcoin, questions about Bitcoin and crypto answered. Massive Bitcoin crash, the truth about Bitcoin explained by Michael Saylor. Losing money in crypto, then you need to hear this. Markets are collapsing. Stock market and Bitcoin crash just got a lot worse, but you ain't seen nothing yet. So everybody's saying, it's just the beginning, which could be true. But again, this is why I keep saying the exact same thing over and over. Daily dollar cost average. Just don't ever buy it all in one shot. Because 3 weeks ago, everybody was coming down on me. They're like, "Why don't you just buy it? It's going up to 280,000. Just buy it right now." This is why. And it's the exact same people that would say, "Why did you buy it all at one shot? Why didn't you wait for it to crash?" You know what I mean? Like, you can't win. So if you do it this way, you're gonna get an average of the price. That's what you want to do. Like, I don't believe in going in there and buying huge chunks of it because it's so volatile. Let that volatility work to your advantage. If there's, like I said this before, and I'll say it again, I usually don't make price predictions, but I'm telling you right now, Bitcoin's going down to 20 grand, probably around 18 to 20,000 bucks. I'll tell you that. It sounds crazy, and I know everybody's going to say, "Oh, that's bullshit. It's not going to go that low. It's going to go down." But again, when you stop and think of it, that's a lot of money for an asset. It'll go to its previous peak. Remember when it peaked at 20 G's like a couple of years ago? It'll go down to that, but that will be the basement. That'll be as low as it'll go. And like I said, that's when I'm going to start loading up on it. If it can go down to that, I'll throw in 20 grand. I'll sink some extra money in. I'll buy about, if it goes down to $20,000, I'll buy about 5 or 6 of them. I'll probably put 100 grand in, like at one time, because like I said, I just defeated my point of daily dollar cost averaging. But I mean, like, once it hits a real a low, I'll buy a chunk if it crashes to that, because that'll be its bottom, and then it'll start going up from there. So. But anyways, because you got to remember, this time last year was like, well, maybe like in March last year, it was like 5 grand. So it's sitting right now at, let's just see if Bitcoin isn't, again, these are Canadian numbers. It's still 61,000 Canadian. And everyone's, "Oh my God, it's crashing." Last year, it was like 5 grand. Like, you gotta put things in context. Let's look at it. So if you look at the 1 year, well, it's saying 12, but like, I remember it was like, yeah, this time around a year ago, there it is. There it was 7. See, but this is a moving average, but I remember it was down to about 5 something. So like, you can't, you're still doing well, but I'm telling you right now, it'll go down to 20 G's. That's my guess. It'll go down to 20 grand. And it was only 20 grand. Like, was this in October? Like, not even October, November. There you go. Around November, it was 20 grand. That's not that long ago. That's like 6 months ago. And everybody's saying like, oh my God, it'll never reach that again. It'll reach that again, but that'll be the basement, So I'm not worried about it. Like, it's like everybody's freaking out. It's still high. And again, they're saying that, oh, China, like here, the digital yuan, China's anti-Bitcoin. Like China's going to take over and they're going to kill Bitcoin. Like this is the other thing. And this is what I say to a lot of young people out there because they weren't around. Like in the 80s, what everybody's saying right now about China, that's what they were saying about Japan. Back in the 80s, you should have heard the rhetoric back then. Everything was, oh, Japan, 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 Japan. Oh my God, Japan, Japan. Japan's going to take over everything. Japan, Japan. That's all you heard in the 80s was how Japan was going to own everything. They did own a lot of stuff. I remember they bought like Pebble Beach golf course. They were buying stuff in the States, left, right, and center. And at one time, never mind the country of Japan, just the city of Tokyo, Japan, just the city was worth more on paper than the entire United States because that's where all their, major companies were headquartered, like, Toyota, Sony, Panasonic, whatever. Anything that had to do with Japan went through the roof. And I remember every MBA program was all about their teaching the Japanese way of doing things. And they're like, if you don't study the way Japanese do business, you're going to be out of business. It's all about Japan. Does anybody talk about Japan now? Japan's still a world power, but you never hear anybody saying, oh my God, Japan's going to take over the world. I think they're going on their third or fourth generation. They call it lost generation of kids who've never had a job. Like they go to university, they do everything they're supposed to do, and they live in their parents' apartment till, and they never get married and they never have jobs. They never wind up doing anything. I think they're on the fourth generation of that, where, like, I'm not saying every single person goes through that, but there's a significant amount of the population. They call it a lost generation where nobody has a job. And this was supposed to be the country that was going to take everybody over. Guys can't even, get a minimum wage job. So like you're hearing the same thing with China. Everybody, oh my God, China's going to take over China's going to take over nothing. Okay. They're going to get big. They're going to be a significant power, but they're not taking anything over. Again, you just got to keep your head screwed on. And again, CNBC, like the home of bullshit. Chartmaster says Bitcoin breakdown is just getting started. Like this woman here, she always makes me laugh. She doesn't know her head from her ass. And they must practice making faces because she always makes this face like she knows what she's talking about, but she's a complete stooge, right? So we'll listen to this bullshitter, what she has to say, and then we'll take it from there.
Welcome back to Fast Money. We've got a Bitcoin alert, the cryptocurrency getting crushed, falling below $50,000 earlier today before rebounding slightly. It is down more than 17% just this week. And the Chartmaster says the Bitcoin breakdown is not over. Cornerstone Macro's Carter Worth is here to lay out the charts. Carter.
Sure, you bet. Well, we don't send out a lot of research notes post-dinner, but last night it just felt as though it was about to get heavy and quickly. So at 52, there's a critical level, and so hence the report went out. Let's look at some charts. There are 5 in total. This is the logarithmic chart of Bitcoin, and what you see here, of course, is that we were flirting with that line around supper time last night, and we started to break, hence the sort of alert to clients that this looks like it's going to undercut the line. And so we did indeed drop as low as 47 and change. The question is, once breaking a trend line, what can you look for as a reference point? And that gets to the next 4 charts. So one reference point is the January peak, and you can see the line I've drawn there. Look at the next chart. Another reference point is the 150-day moving average. Now take a look at the next chart. It's those all put together. They all triangulate. They all come down to around the 40,000 plus level. Now, look at the long-term and final chart, and this is of Bitcoin with its 150-day moving average. And over time, it served quite well as a reference point. And so a peak to trough decline, we hit 64 and change. Our low is 47 and change before the reversal today. But that would represent about a 38% decline. Our peak to trough now is 26. I think there's a little bit more to go.
Carter, is it your sense that this is a correction within an uptrend, or is the uptrend is actually broken?
Well, what's interesting about any uptrend, and most have them, they have corrections. And then once it's underway, hard to know whether it's the beginning of something worse or whether it's just as you've inquired, a correction that allows it to go higher. My hunch is that it's a correction that allows it to go higher.
Okay, Carter.
Okay, I actually find that interesting that they said it was a correction that would indicate it go higher, because they're always saying negative stuff about Bitcoin. But again, you have to take all this stuff with a grain of salt. Like I personally think Bitcoin is going to go down. It's going to go down significantly. But that's the nature of cryptocurrencies. They are extremely volatile, but that's where you make your money. You don't make your money if it just keeps going up. You make your money when it crashes, you load up, and then you wait for it to go up again. That's how you make your money. So this volatility should not be something you're afraid of. This should be something you are embracing, because this is where the money is going to be made. And like I said, the best way to do it is daily dollar cost average. And you don't have to go as much as I do, like $333 a day. Just put in whatever you can afford. If you can only afford $30 a day, $20 a day, whatever you have. But just ride this. And I'm telling you, this is going to be a critical time. If you look at, it just went, he was kind of alluding to this. He didn't use the word death cross, but if you look at the charts, Bitcoin just went through a death cross. And what that means is like when there's like, a high moving, like a high day moving average, like a 100-day moving average, and a low moving average, like a 30-day moving average. As soon as they cross, that means that it's signaling that it's going to go down. Okay. And it probably will go down significantly. But again, don't fear that. That's where the money is. That's where you make the money. You have to make the money when it goes down. That's when you load up. It's like if somebody were to say to you, I can put you in a time machine and you can buy houses for $100,000 right now. Would you go in it? I would. Basically like all this, like the stock market, the crypto market, to me, it's like a time machine. When it crashes, it's like you're going back in time. You can load up on something, right? That's the way I look at it. And when you see it go down, start loading up, because I'll tell you right now that the long term. This is what we got to look at it. The long term of Bitcoin, and again, this isn't financial advice. This is just my opinion, right? But the long term of Bitcoin is, I think, is up. It's an upward moving investment. But in the short term, you're gonna see crashes. And like I said, I totally embrace that. I like that. That's where I want it to go. I want to make the money. I don't want to have it keep going up and up and up. And, you're getting a smaller piece of Bitcoin. You want to get a lot. If somebody said to you, yeah, it's down to 20 G's and you can buy 5 of them, I'd rather that than buy one, at 100. So anyways, that's just my own personal take on it. Again, this isn't financial advice. Do what you want. I'm just showing you my journey through this. And I can assure you 100%, I am not fearful of anything that's going on. You have to roll with it. I take advantage of the downturn trends. I welcome them. Actually, I look forward to them. And that's how you move forward. I am not, by any stretch of the imagination, pessimistic about what's going on. Not at all. So anyways, that's it for today, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.